Hi and welcome back to my channel, Nerd It This Way. I'm Mahalia and today I am going to be doing my super book haul. Medium size book haul compared to other people.
Ma-hell-yea, in this world you must know who you are.
So I have the 7 Sorcerers and 7 Kings. Well, this is book 2. This is book 3 by John R. Flutz. And this is following the 7 Prince book that I have recently acquired. And it is about a band of brothers, princes who have been, I think, excommunicated or exiled. And their father has been killed. And now they have to cross this vast journey and start a war to get their kingdom back. The next book I have, which I think the other one, I didn't put them in order, but this book is supposed to have a cover. I got this from thriftstores.com, thriftbookstore.com, and it is Elizabeth Bear's Range of Ghosts, Shattered Pillar, and there's one more, and I think I misplaced it, which sucks. No, I didn't. It's just a different size. Okay. So it is Ranger of Ghosts. Hopefully you can see that without the glare. Okay. And Shattered Pillar and Steals of Sky, which is sequel to Shattered Pillar. So this is book 1, 2, and 3. Do this a little bit better so you can see. So they're different sizes because I got them from Thrift Store Books. But I was really excited to read Elizabeth Bear. I've heard really great things. I have one of her mass market paperbacks, Blood and Iron, which I have been trying to get to and it's just not working. So fingers crossed that I will get to it before the end of the year, which is the goal. Next is The Wizard's Dog by Eric Gale, which is a funny story about Merlin and his pet dog and how his dog talks and his magic, and it's supposedly really funny and a really quick read. I kind of picked this up because it was recommended by Goodreads, so I was like, oh, I like funny. Next, I have no idea, maybe my mom gave this to me, and it is called Unlovely by Celeste Conway, and I don't really know what this is about, but the cover says a perfect combination of romance and horror, which is pretty dope. So it is about Harley, a college guy with a brain in his head, those old tales about ballet schools and evil hidden within its walls. Then Cassandra, one of the dancers, whirls into his life. Harley is at first enchanted, then he's doubtful, and then he is terrified, but it's already too late. So I guess this is kind of like a spooky black swan kind of thing. It's kind of exciting. I don't really do scary stories like that, but I'm gonna try. Next is the Shotgun Arcana by R.S. Belcher. Okay, so I picked this up because not only is the cover just like spooky scary, but so I love Bob's Burgers, and so when I saw Belcher, I was like, oh, that's funny. I'm gonna pick it up just because of the last name. I have no idea what this is about, but let's see. So 1870, a haven for the blessed and the damned, including a fallen angel, a mad scientist, a pirate queen, and a deputy who is kin to coyotes. Wow, that's kind of interesting. Golgotha has come through many nightmarish trials, but now an army of 32 outlaw lunatics, serial killers, and cannibals, drawn by a grisly relic that dates back to the Donner Party in the dawn of humanity. Sheriff John Highfather and his deputies already have their hands full dealing with train robbers, a mysterious series of brutal murders, and the usual outbreak of strangeness. Old cowboys and witches and warlocks. Neil Gaiman says, oh, reminiscent of Neil Gaiman's American Gods, sharp, violent, and insidiously creepy. That's kind of exciting. Next I got, I never take a sticker off, that's smooth. Okay. I got excited. Okay. So, I'm so sorry if I say the name wrong. But Yang Zi Cho. This is the Night Tiger. But let's see, that cover's so pretty. So I don't know if the author, I'm pretty sure the author is a she, but this author wrote another book which was a standalone that I loved. It's called The Ghost Bride, and it featured, like, it was so good and it was so crazy and it was just mind-blowing. So when I saw this and I thought, see, look, praise for The Ghost Bride. So the Night Tiger, Cho has written a scrumptious garden maze of a novel that immerses readers in a complex vanished world. See, just her writing style and the way that she brings Chinese culture, and her plots are like crazy good. So I'm looking forward to reading this. I probably will take a break from readathons so I can kind of get to the books that don't meet the readathons like criteria, so I can knock out more books. Next is Terra Nova. My mom gave me this. Terra Nova by Eric S. Sanderson, and The New World After Oil, Cars, and Suburbs. So, an exploration of how America's economy is entangled with our addiction to oil, cars, and suburbs, and a revolutionary plan for an economically sound, healthier, and freer future. I'm not sure if this is more of like a textbook. It looks more like a textbook. I feel tricked. I wonder if she knows that this is more of like a textbook and not like a book. I didn't even bother looking in it until now. I might give this to my husband. He likes reading textbooks. And probably will be giving that to James. He prefers to read textbooks instead. Next is book 1 and 2 of the Isle Veil cycle. So, by D.B. Jackson. The first book is Time's Children. And the second book, which made me want to pick up the series completely, is Time's Demon. Do you see that cover? So this is about a time traveler who is trapped in a violent past, must protect the orphan child of a murdered sovereign in this wonderfully gripping fantasy. That's it. That's all I know. That's, like, I'm pretty excited because I'm really not into like the whole time travel thing, but recently I've been getting into it. I'm not. Next is Glenn Cook, The Sword Bearer, which is from The Black Company. So The Black Company is a plethora of books, and I think I have book 1 too that I picked up. And I've been wanting to read this. This is like epic fantasy at its best. And Glenn Cook is, like, in my opinion, one of those authors that you at least should read once. And so I picked this up, and the Chronicles, so the first 3 books of The Black Company by Glenn Cook. The first book is obviously The Black Company, Shadowlinger, and The White Rose. So this I really don't know how to like describe it other than like a band of people who go on adventures and slay monsters and do crazy stuff. Like, that's all I need. Next is The Kingdom of Ash and Briars by Hannah West. This is about an orphan girl, a powerful stone, and extraordinary choices. And I picked this up because I saw this on Pinterest and I was like, oh, this looks, I like the cover. It looks really good. So I really didn't kind of like look into it because it's middle grade or maybe YA. I'm not too sure, but a lot of these books have more like orphan-ish kind of like main characters, which is pretty interesting. But the inside says Bristol. Okay, I don't know where my video stopped, but we're following an orphan named Bristol who is an alchromancer, which is a very powerful shapeshifter. And so we are following her into this really gritty fairy tale land gone wrong. Pretty excited. Next is another epic fantasy, high fantasy. It is called The Goblin Core by Ari Marmel. And I picked this up because I love some, you know, high fantasy stuff. So when I saw they have an orc, they have a werewolf, they have a goblin, they have some weird orangutan thing, and I was like, ooh. And it's so funny. Okay, so tell me what this sounds like. The few, the proud, the obscene. Doesn't that sound like, you know, when you see the Marine commercials? Like, that's kind of how like, shout out to all the Marines in the world. But I really thought of, like, you know, a military band of monsters going around killing, which is another reason why I got this, because of this little part right here. Nothing else mattered. So I'm pretty excited to read it. Next is a beautiful cover, and it is called The Lantern's Ember by Colleen Hoke. Do you see this? Do you see this glorious cover? It is beautiful. Ooh. Okay, so the back says he has kept the darkest monsters and demons at bay for centuries. She is bold, brilliant, and witch. She is a bold, brilliant witch, dead set on slipping past him. The crossroads keeper may have finally met his match. So from that, I don't want to read the inside because then I'm like, oh, I should start this, but I am. So Ember O'Dare. Oh, Ember, that's cool. Ember O'Dare has a secret. She's a natural-born witch from an early age. She has a knack for crafting potions and felt an indescribable pull to the ancient bridge in her town of Halliwell. Oh, like Charm. Oh. I miss Charm. Little does Ember know the bridge is a gateway to the other world, a realm crawling with fiendish beasts. And Jack, the ever vigilant watchman, is committed to keeping meddlesome mortals away. His task is simple, or it would be if he weren't falling for the very witch he's trying to keep out. Okay, so there's romance. This feels very YA-esque. So I'm pretty excited. Like, this cover screams like fall. And oh, it's so pretty. I really like, I found this on Pinterest and I was like, I don't know what this book is about, but I need it. So yay, it works out. And of course, I got book 3 and 4 of volumes 3 and 4 of the Saga of Tanya the Evil, which, if you do not know about this light novel, manga, anime, shame on you, and you should go watch the anime. Because if you love alternate universe, time traveling, meddling gods, and very adult-like characters, You will love this. She kind of falls under the old soul kind of trope. She is a 40-something-year-old HR executive who was killed and now is reincarnated into this precious little girl who is a war hero and is just trying to live a calm and happy life until retirement, which is everybody's kind of goals. So I'm pretty excited. I think I'm probably going to reread the first 2 books because I love them so much, and then I'm gonna, like, you know, power through the rest. So that's exciting. I also got book 2 of John Sprunk's Blood and Iron. This is called Storm and Steel. This is a multiple POV high fantasy where we are, I don't know if we're following the same group either. No, we are. Okay, so we are following the spy, the magician, and the rebel, which are our group of characters. I kind of don't remember how I felt about the book, so I'm one of those people that might have to reread the first book if I liked it. Like, I remember it being really engaging and just like, whew. And I also remember being kind of confused in some parts, so I probably will give this series another try because it, you know, when, like, okay, so when you put a book down and then you're like thinking about it, you probably should pick it back up again. That's how I feel about this series. Okay, so I also have Dangerous Creatures by Cami Garcia and Margaret Stoll. This was given to me by my mom, and it is a Beautiful Creatures kind of thing. Oh, I did not read Beautiful Creatures. So is this From the World of Beautiful Creatures, a dangerous new tale of love and magic. A new love, so I guess this is a new side story following new people in the same world. I'm kind of curious about it. I didn't like Beautiful Creatures. And then when I saw the movie, I was like, I'm glad I didn't read the book. Because I didn't read the book, I kind of enjoyed the movie. Although there were so many holes in it that I was like, what's going on? Schmur. But I'm looking forward to giving this a try. The next book. This book has been on my need to buy for about a few years. And for some reason, whenever I would go into like Barnes & Noble, Secondhand Charles, or anything like that, I would forget to look for this book. And it is called Priest of Bones by Peter McLean. And this book is, please excuse that noise. This book is about, okay, a story of organized crime with shades of The Godfather. A charismatic and very Moorish book with a strong voice. Mark Lawrence, international bestseller of The Red Sister. I love The Red Sister so much. I actually love Mark Lawrence. But, so it is War for the Rose Thorn. And first in an unmissable series, Priest of Bone is a fresh and compelling take on grimdark fantasy, mashing together soldiers, gangsters, magic, and war into a heady mix that is a hulking big brother to Liza Locklamora. I liked Liza Locklamora, so I'm pretty excited about this. I'm thinking for the Monsterathon, a lot of these books are probably going to be in the TBR. And I'm going to try and mix the books I already have. But that's the thing when you buy new books. You're like, oh, those old books have been on my shelf for a long time. They could wait. I'm like, no, you need to get through them. You need to just schmur. Okay, next. Hey, I got another sticker off. Okay, is The Chosen by Tamran Matharu? I'm so sorry if I said your name wrong. Please forgive me. But this is about, so they watched from the shadows, watched the people from the world going about their lives, unaware of the insidious gaze that followed. So many candidates to choose from. So, there's no so. To choose from. Such potential, but still they hesitate. For this would likely be the last of their contenders, and it would not do to hurry. So they wait, brooded until they were sure. A boy, unremarkable in so many ways, like all main characters. Unremarkable in so many ways, yet somehow ideal for the contest he would soon be doomed to enter. His mind held the knowledge to appreciate their game, understand it, perhaps even win it. So, from that, I'm going to just make an assumption that this kind of has like a Hunger Games, ninja, kind of battle royale kind of feel. And I'm pretty excited. I like stuff like that. It's so funny. They always say unremarkable main character. Isn't that what we look for? Like the most unremarkable people doing the badass stuff. Okay. Next is We Roll the Night by Claire Elizabeth Bartlett. I'm getting so much better on these names. So this is, the back says, their realm is night. Their realm is the night. Their realm is the air. The Union's women fly for you, even until death. The world began to darken. A massive shape dispelled the dust and ash. Death streaming in for a final kiss. Certainty seized her like a vice. Certainty that she was going to die, and might be her fate. It might even be what the Union expected of her, but it wasn't what she wanted. And not life. You don't want to die yet. So this is definitely a young adult, because 17-year-old factory worker. So I'm gonna go take this a little faster. So pretty much factory worker, YA, and she's a phoenix, I'm gonna guess, because I don't want to read the inside flap because it'll take too long. Next is KV Johannesson, The Leopard, and this has been on my must buy for a while, and every time I looked at it I was like, oh, I'll pick it up. I love high fantasy. But this is about a assassin known as the Leopard who wants to die, and he is, I think, on a path to find death. So right there, can you see it? I hope so. Okay, next are the books that are over like 400 pages. Tad Williams' Otherland. So this is serious. It's epic fantasy, high fantasy, and it was like $2, and I just really wanted to give it a try. A new dimension in the imagination of Otherland, a city of golden shadow. This first volume is a mesmerizing story. It takes us on the near future when global conspiracy at the highest level threatens to sacrifice our Earth for the promise of a far more exclusive place. Next tome is another Tad Williams, and this is The Witchwood Crown. And I grabbed this because high fantasy, castles, knights, dragons, monsters, all that good stuff. So king and queen suffered the loss of their only child and the disappearance of the only other families of their small royal family is an uncle and his wife and their twin children. But a crisis looms, and the Storm King's most dangerous ally, the Nora Queen, has awakened from her long sleep in the depths of Storm Pike, and she is on revenge. To strengthen her cause, she plans to recover a mysterious crown, Witchwood Crown. Some evil, it seems, never dies. So I'm not too sure if for this, if we're following the queen to get the crown, the evil queen, which would be really cool to kind of get the perspective of the evil person, or the antagonist, not really evil. So yeah, I got this because I don't know, I kept going back to it. Next, so if you followed me on Twitter or any of that, you know that I got this in June, and it is The Seven Blades in Black by Sam Sykes. And I read, you know, these things, and I was like, ooh, I know that person, I know that person, I've read that person. So her magic was stolen. She was left for dead. Already got me, because what? Betrayed by those she trusted most, and her magic ripped from her. Sal of cacophony has nothing left but her name, her story, and the weapon she used to crave both. But she has a will stronger than magic and knows exactly where to go. The scar is a land torn between powerful empires where rogue mages go to disappear, disgraced soldiers go to die, and Sal goes with a blade, a gun, and a list of 7 names. Oh my gosh, a revenge story. Nothing good comes from revenge. This reminds me of a book that I'm reading for the Newts, which is Never Die, and I'm going to have that link up below. That was so good, and that reminds me of this, and I'm so excited to read this. Next, oh, this is a really long video, is another from K.V. Johannesson, and it is Black Dog. Ooh. I got this because it was recommended along with the Black Company, and because I loved the cover. Like, it just screams like adventure, death, scary monsters, and a very powerful world building. Well, that's the hope. Like, in a magic system, that's pretty badass. So, in the land long ago, in the days of the first kings in the north, winter's coming, there were 7 devils. And long ago, in the days of the first kings in the north, the 7 devils who had deceived and possessed 7 of the greatest wizards of the world were defeated and bound with the help of the old great gods. And perhaps some of the devils are free in the world, and perhaps some are working to free themselves still. So is he a god trying to like free himself, or is he a devil trying to free a god? Oh, yes, sounds good. And my last book, but by John Brown, Servant of the Dark God. Again, I looked at the back because I don't really look in the inside, and I kind of look at, like, you know, who. Brandon Sanderson says, solid pacing, a smart setting, and a great story. And I love Brandon Sanderson. You know, I value his opinion. A complex, powerful story of a youth trying to learn who he is and what he is, with no allies he can trust, in a world stalked by a monster. A book that copies nothing I have read before and goes in its own way brilliantly. Why can I not speak? Brilliantly. You know what I mean. And that was by David Drake, author of The God's Return. So, pretty excited. I have a lot of epics right now. So that's pretty exciting. Another book I am reading for class. I'm going to have it right here because I don't know the name of the author off the top of my head, but it's called Story Genius. I am reading it for my thesis class this quarter, which is so, like, I'm almost done with my programming, so I'm really excited and scared all at the same time. That concludes my book haul. I hope you enjoyed it. I know it's a bit like crazy. I was reading and then I wasn't reading and then I was kind of just talking a little bit. But I, am really excited to read these books. If you've read any of these books or you plan on reading any of these books, let me know in the comments down below because, oh my gosh, my shelves. Like, I don't know if you can see, but I cleared out like a whole shelf over the past few months reading and unhauling, which I didn't know, I didn't think to do an unhaul video. I just kind of like unhauled my books. But, you know. So, if you like my content, please subscribe. I'm hoping to be more tech savvy and have like a subscribe button like in the video, because that would be cool. Like, share, comment down below, and I hope you guys have a wonderful weekend and week. So I will see you guys later. Bye.